Marcelo is not a Oya, but he's part of the larger Oya community. So he's a professional in renewable energy. He has hands-on experience because he's a mechanical engineer in involvement in energy project development, including feasibility analysis. He works between technology, regulation, market, and we can see how all those actors, public, private stakeholders, and utilities and regulators have to come together to make the energy transition happen. Is also very involved in the energy sector as the president of the Renewable Energy Association, for instance. So, Marcelo, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you to the Hoya Sustainability Network for this invitation. It's an honor for me to join this celebration of the International Day of Clean Energy and to share the Uruguayan experience. A story of ambition, resilience, and a long-term vision. As you know, my name is Marcelo Mula, and today I will walk through how a small country managed to build one of the cleanest energy electricity matrix in the world, and how we're now moving into a second major energy transition. The agenda, the roadmap for today: first, a brief introduction to Uruguay, then the first energy transition and how we built a renewable electric matrix, as I mentioned. Next, the second transition, that we are decarbonizing the rest of our economy. And finally, the investment opportunities emerging from this new transformation. Well, Uruguay, we are a small country, as Colin mentioned, but we have a big energy story to share with you. Yeah, you can see we are in Latin America between two biggest countries, Brazil and Argentina. We are only 3.5 million people, but with a long tradition of institutionally stability, social cohesion, and strategic planning. And for the energy sector, that combination really made the difference. Here you have some value here I share with you in order to then you can check in the presentation that I will share. We are geographically small, but with abundant natural resource, strong and consistent winds, and excellent solar radiation. And also, of course, this is becoming the foundation of our transformation. Also, we have, as we will see next, a very good relationship between wind and solar, stationality. When we have a strong wind at night, we don't have solar, and also in the otherwise. Okay, some ranking and index that I will show you with you to show that Uruguay have a very good position. This is the environmental, social, and governance top performance in the world. Uruguay top in the best countries, as you can see there. Another rankings, Uruguay in Latin America has number one in democracy and no corruption and civil liberties, rule and law, social mobility, e-government. There are some index that I will show with you. Also, if we compare Uruguay and Europe, also we are in very good positions. If consider Uruguay like an European country, we are 11 in democratic index. Well, you can see there we are very good position. In economical matters, we have 13 consecutive years of investment grade, and also we have the low country risk in the region. And that is my city, Montevideo is the capital, and is ranking on the best quality life in Latin America. Okay, it's like to take a glimpse of my country. Okay, go to the energy. Our first transition took place between 2008 and 2018. In just a decade, Uruguay completely transformed its electric sector. You can see there the photo of 2012. Before this transition, the situation was very different than now. We depend heavily from imported oil. We face recurring energy crisis. Electricity was expensive and vulnerable to climate variability. But as we like to say, each crisis became an opportunity in this case. It's like I think the Europe case now. What was the step that we did in order to do this first transition? I think that the turning point was political. Between 2008 and 2015, Uruguay adopted a modern regulatory framework, launched a competitive bidding process, encouraged private participation, and maintained a strong institutional stability. I think that the most important that was a state policy, not a government policy. The government changed, but the policy continued in a longer term. And for this project that project finance, the continuity was essential. Okay, and transformative decade, we invest in Uruguay invested 7 billions in 1.5 gigawatt wind, more than 300 megawatt solar, and also 500 megawatt biomass. And the result was 98% of electricity from renewables. And we changed from importing energy to export nobles, because now our companies are working in all Latin America countries. The results, as you can see there, in 2022, the matrix was 98 renewable. The price of electricity and carbon intensity in the region, we have the lowest. Stable and predictable energy prices, and also, as I mentioned, we support the experience and service and other countries. The photo at the right is the electricity matrix in 2022. And comparing in the rest of the world, there you can see some countries, Europe countries, the top ones with the penetration of wind and solar, but also the share of renewable energy in the electric sector. Uruguay is one of the first in the world with 99% in the last year, in 2025. We have 35% of penetration of wind and solar. And well, this is the results. When I would like to compare this to put in context with the global electricity mix. While the world still relies heavily in fossil fuels, Uruguay made a decisive shift toward renewables. In average in the world, the 32% is renewable. We are in the 99% in last year. But this transition didn't just reduce emissions, also reduce the cost. Renewable stabilize electricity price and protect consumer from oil price volatility. As you can see there, the price of the energy reduced 72% in US dollars price, and also in the rise from 1.7 of the PBA to the 0.8 of PBA, the cost of our energy. And I mentioned that we changed our import to export situation. You can see there from 2006, 2010, we need to import from Brazil, Argentina energy, and then of the transition, we are export country. This is a resume of that I mentioned that you can then check. And now we are entering in our second energy transition from 2010 to 2040, 2020 to 2040. And this time the challenge is the broader decarbonized transports, industry, and logistics. When we see the evolution of our primary energy mix, all of the energy that Uruguay consume, we start in 2000 with the dependence of the oil and gas sector, all practically more than 60%. And now, as you can see at the right, in 2024, we only depend 36% of fossil fuels. When we see the world primary energy supply mix, you can see here in the world nearly 80% of the primary energy supply is from fossil fuels. This is interesting to show because you can see from in one decade, 2013 to 2023, the percentage go down, but when you see the absolute values, the energy exajoules that the world consume from fossil fuel go increase, and also the emissions. Okay, and for Uruguay, we adopt the green hydrogen in the next frontier. As you mentioned, with abundant renewable source, abundant biogenic CO2, and a low country risk, we can produce competitive green hydrogen and its derivatives, and also like green methanol. And this position Uruguay as a future exporter of clean molecules. There you can show here the renewable energies, the electrolysis, and also the CO2 capture, and we can do green methanol, and the end use that we are thinking to do of that fuels. Why that is possible? As I mentioned, we have our renewable potential is significant, far beyond the domestic demand. This creates a room for large-scale hydrogen projects. Important to mention the complementary of the solar and wind. As I mentioned, in that latitude, we have a very good complementation of solar and wind, and the factor plant of our project are more than 65%. When we did the first, studies, this is a McKinsey studies in 2021, we see that Uruguay can have competitive cost driving our particularly between 1.2 and $1.5 kilogram of hydrogens, green hydrogen, that put on the table of the governments and the policies to go ahead these policies. And this is the target. Uruguay has defined a long-term roadmap aligned with the global demand growth. The goal is to build a sustainable, sport-oriented hydrogen economy. And interesting to show here, for 2040, we are thinking about to increasing 28 gigawatt of new renewable energy only for this sector, for hydrogen and green methanol. And at the same time, we have the new demands that start to increase here in Uruguay, like data centers and also electric vehicles. That in Uruguay in the last year, one of four new cars was electrical. And this is to show that the need of new renewable capacity in Uruguay. We are talking about 9 gigawatt of electrolyzers from 2040. This is a small resume that you can then, with that I mentioned and the project that we are developing now. This is like the investment opportunities in the country. This transition open multiple investment opportunities, renewable expansion, green hydrogen and derivatives, green ammonia, as mentioned, sustainability, mobility, energy storage that also start to increase in the country, and also the export of knowledge and service. Okay, this is, I think, that like a message for you in US and all the community. And I like to close with this phrase. I first said in 2013 that in Uruguay the sun and the wind are our oil. This is our national flag. Our national flag carries those symbols: the sun that shines over us, and also the wind that you see that make its wave. And today, those elements power our energy independence and our future. And okay, this is the vision. I think that's become a reality. And the last one, also, I have a company in Uruguay that you can here find the details. This is a IPC company or in the renewable energy sector called M2G or Murtub Green. Yeah, and in case that anyone is interested in exploring business opportunity in the country, we're welcome to put in contact. Okay, this is all.